This is your weekend market recap for Friday, July 1st, 2022. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market recap for Friday, July 1st, 2022. Hopefully you had a good week. Happy holidays to our friends in Canada and also America for the 4th of July. Let's get into it. First, always start off in the Discord room. If you have any questions about any particular trades we're talking about or referring to or ideas, the link is in the description below. Say it every time. Please stop by. If you have questions, posting in StockTwits or YouTube or other channels and trying to get a hold of me, it's going to be delayed. If you really do have a question, need some help, stop on by. Next, I want to talk about a lot of people and traders, a lot of traders in general lately seem to have a few little things going on that are tricking them up about these markets, and they're not layering in, and they're not doing things the best they can. And again, even I have to admit, like I'm not perfect. It's really hard to be in this market, and especially with the volatility of how things are acting. I always like to talk about it because, again, I think the Discord room is a good place to talk about where we are in the markets and the emotions of things and how things are working. Again, if you have any more questions, stop by. And the last thing I want to start with before we get into the charts too is, like, I don't know if you're noticing this on Twitter or whatever FinTwit avenue you subscribe to, but I said this earlier, and I think it needs to be rehashed. And the point I made on Twitter is, do you think it ever gets old? The same posters are trying to nail the outliers versus trade the repetitive history and evidence in things. I like certain things for the long run, but I will not be buying them until the patterns repeat. I don't want to go broke being a hero. Now, the referring group I'm talking to are particular names in certain sectors, especially probably gold, silver, uranium, maybe certain material sectors that aren't, that are struggling at this point because of the prices of things. You need to study the past. The best time to buy materials in a bull market for the long run. Now, I'm not saying you can't buy silver or gold or whatever for the near term for a bounce, because I think it actually is due to bounce. But please don't hold it for the long run, because, again, the best time to buy it will be when the market capitulates. Stick around. In this video, we'll go over those scenarios. We do it every day because I want people to see, like, hey, I do love these names, but I will not be buying them. I will not be the first one to buy them. I don't want to get stuck in purgatory. That's what I call it. It's owning gold, silver, uranium, whatever material that's not going anywhere. It's just total purgatory. Bitcoin, we said these levels. Hey, look at that. It's holding. At this point, you can see it's based on the future. You need more evidence. I can't really be bullish nor bearish. I do like how it's capitulating. It probably should bounce some, but again, you really can't get that excited until it gets over the highs at 21,800. It's really that simple. Again, set your stops. If you're wrong, you are gone. Oil. Talked about it again. We said if you watch the videos from yesterday, talk about the USO and certain price action. Not surprised we held here. Ultimately, I do think we were going lower, but I think there's a hurricane brewing for the Gulf. There's, I guess, a few international dynamics at play right now holding oil up. Again, I think this will go demonstratively lower, much lower in time. It's just not ready yet. It could chop out. On that note, let's get into the charts. TLT, you're welcome. Been saying yields are going to go lower and the TL is going to go higher. A lot of people argued to that and said you're crazy. You don't know what's going on. Talked about the bottoming here, bottom in 108, 109. Again, if you don't believe me, go watch the videos from 615 in that area. Now what gets over the 50-day? A lot of dojis. I'm still bullish bonds. I just think at this point the inflation rates are moderating from their high growth or high levels of growth. I think inflation will moderate because we are going into a recession. However, this is one of the things that I like to talk about with people about the markets is that everyone's now predicting a recession and we're at the lows. Will the market first go higher before going lower? I think the absolute obvious answer is yes, but we'll show you why. The dollar, I've said this for a long while now. I think this is a big channel breaking out, going to the upper bound. When will it get there? I don't know. I think if anything, the dollar could be sluggish and sideways for a couple of weeks. It's been on a big move, big tear. I mean, you think about it from the year, and it's a solid move. I mean, it's up 15, 20%. At this point, it's really 50-50. I just personally wouldn't play it.
The VIX, what did we tell you guys? End of quarters, going into earnings, end of months. Typically when the VIX gets smoked down, here you go, here you go, here you go. Those are your examples. Maybe I'll just even circle them up for folks. I think the VIX is coming down. I think the market's going to rise near term. I don't know how much, but I do think the market ultimately is going to go, I don't know what the right word, significantly higher, but it has upside. So playing around, that's why I'm talking about buying stuff down here. Because if the VIX, like this capitulation was not that strong, but the interesting action is here. I talk about this a lot. The 3-gap trap. 1 gap, 2 gaps, 3 gaps. 3-gap trap, capitulation. Keep in mind, you didn't really have that at the other high, from highs to these lows. This is really scary stuff. I mean, you technically consider that 4 gaps. This is just complete meltdown mode, liquidation mode, where you're gapping, you close at the low of the day. Do you not see that? Do you not agree? We literally went from 415, gap down, close the day, gap down, close next low day, gap down, close next low day. What's weird is the VIX didn't confirm the capitulation, but then what happened? You bounced, not surprised. You came back down to levels that matter. You dojied. You saw some volume capitulation in here. And now what? You bounced the 20-day. We talked about backing off. So the last day of the first day of the quarter is usually bullish. Notice these pullbacks are on lighter volume. You know, just be aware of that. Here's a doji. Because again, the last 2 days, I mean, I'm seeing every bear go nuts, like digging in deep, absolutely digging in deep. And while that seems logical, it's late. Keep in mind, who is the target of the market? It's dumb money. Remember dumb money buying oil service names up at the highs, just running into them, and now they pull back 30%. Think about the market. It's absolutely sentiment bearish out there, 1,000%. But what? The market's now starting to base. I would just keep an eye on that. Again, the seasonality. The first month of the third quarter, July, is always strong. Go look at the monthly. Go back to 2008. There you go. I guess technically it wasn't there, but usually there's a summer rally. I guess 2008 isn't the ideal. It's probably more like, there you go. 2000, and in the 2000s, you rally back. Where is it in here? Kind of choppy, sloppy action in the summer. I know this is not the ideal scenario to describe it, but if you look at the Stock Traders Almanac, I talk about it. Stop by the Discord room. Again, if you want, it's a great book. Was it Jeremy Hirsch or Gregory Hirsch? I can't remember. Well, I don't think. Yeah, Jeffrey Hirsch and Crystal Mastal. They do the Stock Traders Almanac. They talk about this. Now, again, every year is different. The seasonality is different. But if you go look at, maybe I can pull it up on the Discord room real quick. Just give me 2 seconds. Oh, here we go. First month of the quarters are the most bullish. The seasonality of early July is typically up. You can see that. Okay. I know it's a bear market. I mean, trust me, I'm one of the people who identified it in end of last year. If you get a chance, go check out some of my videos. I did trade war, back to basics. Who's going to win? I thought the market was going to fail at some point. Tech would lead down. Materials would hold up best. Anyway. You know, shorting here again. If you watch previous videos, you know we've been on top of this. Shorting up here, nailed that. So at this point, now what? I think again, if you looked at the new lows list versus new highs, like you're seeing more or less new lows, and you're seeing divergences in the velocity of the down moves. And I know there's a few names blowing out. I mean, there's a bunch of retailers. I know Micron blew out this week. Are you surprised? No, Micron CEO has been talking about this for weeks, like saying like things are struggling, there's supply constraints, their quarter was going to be bad. They still beat, the revenues are still impressive actually. But now what? I don't know. You got this chips bill. You got a few little things coming into this next couple of weeks that could be bullish. Because again, if the rates are going lower, oil's coming down, I think the market's going to rally. Now, how high? You have the ultimate channel high up there, but is it maybe this trend? I mean, you can draw these trends however the heck you want. They're all in play. I know this is a sloppy chart, but Gotta see it all. QQQ. This is what I'm actually the most bullish about, because if rates are going lower, people are going to put the risk on trade. And honestly, the QQQ has been beaten the most. Keep in mind, it went from what? 408 down to 260s. That is a huge move, folks. Look again, the amplitude. You know, you get, remember that as it starts making like significantly less lows, you usually get a bounce. So here you go. Here's the start, your bounce, and here's your shorter bounce. Now, again, could it fill these gaps and back up and then go? Oh, yeah, always possible. But I'm anticipating that since we are down so huge going into a new quarter, new month, the VIX is looking like it's looking tired. I think you should play to the upside looking into it now. Now people go, oh, it's early. We don't know. Keep in mind the sentiment's crap. You just don't know if you're going to get the retest. If you got in here, you're feeling good. If you didn't, and like us, we're trying to, like, you know, we talked about this professional gap here, and I would go higher. It did. We bought in some here, been buying back in here. It's really hard. I get it. You don't know. You don't know if it's going lower. You don't know if it's going to be a broadening pattern like maybe the SMH. It just is what it is. I think there's a trade to the upside because, again, here's the leader. The IWM tops and bottoms first. Remember, IWM topped in November. Bottomed here in mid-June. What it's doing, it's basing out. Talked about this in every video. You were at the 2018 and the 2020 highs. Not surprised. Now again, not saying we're rallying back to the highs, but notice big red, doji. Big red, doji pop. Another red, it's got to pop. It's probably going to pop back into the 180s, maybe 190s, maybe even gets back up here to this. I mean, you can see there's a very clear demarcation zone right here. I think that's possible. That to me seems the worst case scenario, which that's pretty strong actually. Gold. All right, let's get into this because these people want to be superheroes. I mean, I love them. I think they mean well, but man. Oh, it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal to see people continuously rely on gold constantly, and it just it hurts. It hurts to see these people do this. You know what I mean? Like, they continuously push this stuff, and they just, you know, push the narrative that we're going higher, it can't go lower. The market, you know, you got to buy gold today, you got to buy it yesterday, you got to buy it a week ago, you got to buy it a month ago, and what have we said? Leave it alone. However, I did say yesterday, what? I thought it was okay. I thought it might be worth starting to look at it to bounce. Am I buying it? No, because I don't want to be a hero. I don't want to be a hero. It's really that simple. This stuff does not bottom until capitulations in bear markets. I will show you the best times to buy it. Again, 2008 into 2000, again, the fall of 2008, even though the market bottomed in March, the big wipeout was in the fall, right? Right? Capitulation, I mean, here you can technically consider this in COVID. That was the last capitulation. Boom. All this other stuff chop into a bull market. These drops that get followed by rips are the best. And you can see it probably better in silver. Because again, this is what I'm more worried about, is these folks who push silver and gold miners endlessly. This looks like it potentially could be a novice gap at the lows. No one's saying, again, I'm not saying you can't buy physical for the long run. I like it. But here you go. COVID, snapback. 2008, snapback. Chop, purgatory. Please stop listening to these people because they're not studying the past. Every time that I see this, again, I think these guys mean well. Again, I'm not trying to say that they're leading people on intentionally. I just don't think they know what the hell they're talking about. Because again, if we are in a bear market, which I 100% believe, even though we can bull market rally, hence why I think silver can pop, you have to trade this stuff. You cannot own it. The paper game will blow out at the lows. It always does. It always does. Always. It just is. And again, so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to get hysterical about it. But these people don't study the past. And if you don't, you're doomed to repeat it. Because again, I think silver is a good buy physical. If you want all summer, I think you got plenty of time to buy physical. There's no rush. Find your deals, make your offers on eBay, whatever you got to do. Go negotiate with your pawn shop. Just don't think it's going anywhere. Like I said, I think at worst it chops in this range. And that was, months ago. But now the action doesn't even say to me that it's got much in it. Now, again, watch, it probably rallies back to 20, maybe even to 21 area. And someone's going to go, you idiot. And I'm going to say, you know what? Go watch the video from 7-1. We talked about you possibly could be novice gap, capitulation, and bounce. I just wouldn't buy this stuff. You can't convince me to buy it because, again, I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to be a hero, like my rant from the beginning. It just is what it is. GDX, we talked about this today. Hey, this thing is oversold, breaking below. It's probably going to bounce back, got a little volume. But again, when's the best time to buy this? The blowout. Here you go. Boink. Zip, boink. Now what? Nothing. Again, just leave it alone. Now, again, it'll probably rally back to low 30s potentially, and someone's going to say, oh, you missed the boat. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't miss anything because there's other trades. There's a million things out there. So it really is what it is, I'm not trying to antagonize these folks, but I don't know what to say. FinTwit is such a dangerous place because, again, watch and study the guys who've been recommending uranium for 10 years. And this is the problem. And if you are in the Discord room or you follow me, I have to clean up after these folks. They literally break people into owning that. Not break, they don't force people to do anything. People just follow this advice without studying the past, and they're literally broken souls, broken accounts. And what are they doing? They're just, again, hold, pain. What we said, watch out. GDX literally go watch the April videos. I think this was at 420. I think we were like, you got to get the heck out. Now it's got cut. Now it's got cut 40%. And they're the whole way down. Buy. Oh, that's a buy. It's a buy. It got a little quiet yesterday, actually. And, oh, here's the bottom. I don't know what to tell y'all. And again, in a sense of there's probably going to be some people who come out here and go, you're being a jerk face. No, I'm just trying to warn you guys. The bounce is probably likely, but please do not hold it. Because again, hopefully if you've seen, the best time to buy is obviously, nothing's immune. GDXJ, the washouts, bing. I guess you didn't really get a chance to see it here, but in 2008, it would have been strip up. Just is what it is. I love this stuff. I personally love physical gold and silver. I do not like cash. I hate it. But I also know I've been in these places where I feel like people don't understand. If you've traded this stuff for a long time, you've been stuck in this game where you get nothing. AG talked about buying it down here late last year, even into, remember that came down here and then it stripped right back up. We told you, got to get out. Got to get out. Now what? Making back to the lows. People are like, oh, where's it going? Probably back down to the 4 or 5 range. Doesn't mean it can't pop up to 8 or 9 before it goes lower. Same thing. AEM, please be safe. It's at points where it should bounce. I think it's breaking the channel. I think ultimately you're going to get honestly, you're going to get in the 30s. That's going to happen at some point. Now, if it happens in October, someone's going to be like, well, you didn't say that now. And it's like, no, we've been saying it forever. NFGC, like this company. Sprott's going to try to take it private, I bet. LOL. Yeah, 3 or 4. LOL, it's like I'm typing all day. PAAS. Same thing. Love it. Pan American Silver. Buy some of their coins. Think you can come down to here. Just let it be. Just let it be. All right. It's just one of those things. I really can't tell you when this is going to happen. And so that's where FOMO, that's why a lot of people stay in these metal names, because of FOMO. This promise that the one-off scenario where the market breaks and gold goes higher overnight and they don't own it. Well, guess what? If that actually happens, you can be late, you can chase it, because it's probably not going to be a small move. But if you get in before it and you over leverage and you get wiped out and you lose your money and you have no capital, and then eventually you watch it happen from the sidelines, you're going to be so pissed. Letter X, here's some material names that are guiding up that I think are good deals down here. X, man, we nailed this one if you follow the channel. 20 week, 200 month, gone. Now you like it down here. Just have a stop on it. All these names, have a stop, please. I say this every video, have stops. New Core, we were buying this from 103s all the way up to 109. I like it. Channel lows holding down here, filled this gap. And now what? We'll see. Again, they guided up literally 2 weeks ago. And it came right back. Where you check the monthly, you go, ooh, it's on the 20 month, it's on the 0.618. That's pretty fun. Keep an eye on it. Keep in mind, it went from 187 down to 103, 102s. The stuff is more likely to bounce. VALE. Today didn't act that great. I don't know why. Don't really care. Nice retest of the lows. If you caught it, nice bounce. I like it. Now, again, I like it for a bounce. I like this better than gold and silver miners. I know we were like, oh, you're crazy. You know what? I think people are locking in their supply of materials potentially for a war. They're not buying gold and silver aggressively. They're trying to reload steel, copper, materials that needs for building tanks or planes or whatever crap that hopefully won't be in a war, but that's the stuff. All right, here you go, uranium. I said this yesterday. I think you should bounce here. Held our zone. Trade it. Please don't fall in love with it, because if I don't want to see the tears all over the internet of these people who just hold. Arrow, we talked about this one yesterday. I said it's pretty interesting down here in the 8s. Copper name, I like it. I think it can bounce 20-30% easily if the market rallies. Mosaic, we bought this down in the 45s, added a little yesterday. Didn't really do much with it today. Again, like it down here. Keep in mind this thing went from 80 down to 45s. People are like, oh, you didn't hit your trend line. Actually, you know what? It didn't, but the market's holding. I think it's a buy. I just think it's a buy. I mean, I also was looking at CF to confirm this, and it seemed to hold. You know, here you go. It seemed to hold. So it's pretty simple. You know, here you go. Bouncing, should hold up. Let's get into tech, because now this is where I think the true value of bouncing and trading are. Like I said, do you want to buy gold and silver, or do you want to buy the tech names that are going to do really well with lower rates? Because again, lower rates imply deflation, which again, we know long term there's not deflation, but near term the market is going to try to pretend like it. Well, what do we say? It shorted it up here, talked about shorting it here, and then look, and again, I didn't even get the top, but I told folks I'm all out of my short in AMD, and look what happened. It literally held the lows from the past. If you are on the Discord room, I am congratulate you for buying it here, because I think it's very obvious it's gonna bounce. How high? Trend line, I don't know, 100 level, maybe. You just don't know. You know, it just is what it is. But anyway, you got to let it do what it's going to do. I think you have upside. And here we go. We'll jump into SMH, because this is the one that we're pulling the trigger on through some Soxel. Where are you, SMH? Here you are. Micron, blowout today. Absolute blowout. Bad news. Kitchen sink quarter. Threw everything in the kitchen sink. You know, all bad news. Told people start watching this thing. And again, we started getting in yesterday, which clearly was too early. I honestly, and it is what it is. You can't really cry about it. But we talked about, I guess it's really, you can see it here, a broadening pattern. aka the megaphone pattern. You can see it here. Here's the megaphone. You get higher highs and lower lows. Look at the volume down here. I said this during the day as we were watching. I'm like, ooh, man, we really got to hold some lows. Then started connecting some lines and looking at things. I was like, oh, all is known about semis. Not all is known ultimately about the economy long term, but all the bad news is pricing in. I think we're due to bounce. I mean, that's all I was really saying. Just, I think it's due to bounce. And if it is due to bounce and the semiconductor bill, that chips bill passes, you're going to see a stupid markup in chips. Now, how high is too stupid? It's 190s, 240s, maybe? I don't know. You do the math here. I mean, at this point, I guess we can draw it. Let's draw a fib. See if they line up with our levels. 0.382 right there. Let me clear this one out. It's an old fibby. Look at that. Look at how they play out. Love when they play out like that. Anyway, just saying, it is what it is. I think you can buy it down here. It's the breaking of the channel. I think it's a false signal because, again, let's look at the Qs. Remember, the QQQ is going to lead. What have the Qs done? They bottomed. SMH is going to catch up. It's just a matter of when. Apple. Talk about this is bottomed. Nice rally back into the close. Again, how high? 150, 160 range wouldn't surprise me. For a bounce, Meta, we're buying this. We bought this in the 150s. Why? Channel low. It nicely bounced, and now you're pulling back a lot. Look at all these indecision candles. I like it down here a lot. Just keep an eye on it. I started buying some Roblox today, just shares, nothing crazy. I like this. Look at this. The bottom here, huge volume, higher low. And as the market has been going crazy, what is it doing? It's holding up. All right, folks. You and I, our shares will never stop the market from dropping like that. But someone else is. How high is it going? I don't know. I don't know. But it's come from what? Was it 140 something? 141 all the way down to 22. It's now at 35. I still think it could go much higher coming off the lows. Look at it, making higher highs and higher lows. The market didn't bottom in May, but look what it's done. Higher highs and higher lows. You have to acknowledge the fact that it's acting strong. Tesla talked about this a lot. Just leave it alone. Irony of the bottom last couple days has been 666. Where are you? Yeah, it was 636 today. And then 666 I think on Wednesday. Whatever. Maybe that's Elon Musk pulling the trigger. Who knows? Whatever. Double bottom. I don't think there's a ton of short in this until you get higher. That's all I would say. I don't think it's going up for the long term. It's not going back to 1240 anytime soon. Please do not say that. But I will say it's probably going to bounce. Then you short it. That's all you got to do. Just don't be early on this stuff. EXPI. Here we go. The best real estate company in the world, in my opinion. Brokerage. Doing well. Said you could start buying it in 11 and 12s. I own a bunch of it. It's been absolutely mean because I own it in vested accounts that's not vested yet. And what are we doing? We're holding down here. Again, I'm trapped in it. You don't have to be traded. UTHR. We talked about this many a times. Many a times. Congratulations if you didn't buy it. Double bottom. Volume price analysis. Confirmed the bottom. Nice rally. Popped. Chopped. Here you go. Double bottom. Boom. We said watch out when you get up here. You've gone way too fast. Way too far. Way too quickly. You pulled back to support here. The old highs from the last, like, I don't know, 2 years. Look what it did. Bounced and held. Now you're making higher highs, slightly higher highs. I think at this point you have to be careful in that if the market goes higher, great. It's going to go up. But at this point too, unless it's going to get bought out, it might need some consolidation, which could look like this. Keep in mind, like after a big run, big run, what did you do? You just chop around. I think that's probably in the cards. Unless it's going to get bought out, that we don't know. Probably chopping out. All right, let's get into oil because this is really interesting. Again, if you watched from the beginning of the video, we talked about holding the channel lows. I'm not surprised it bounced. Yesterday we held it. It could get sloppy and choppy near term. However, what do we say? Look at the XOP. I don't think there's a ton of downside. Look at that. Doji at the 200-day. I personally think there'll be a head and shoulders formation of some sort. How high the right shoulder goes, I don't know. Man, this line needs to be thickened because you can't clearly see it. I think ultimately you have to trade it. And meaning trade it as in, here's it, you know, it's kind of, you know, 137 to 147. I know it's a big window, but the market holds up and rallies. People are going to buy the oil names because I don't think oil is going back to $60 a barrel. If oil even holds up over 100 to the 90 range near term, markets, I mean, I think these names print money. So we'll see. ExxonMobil, talked about this, trying to get up into this gap, didn't get it. Whatever, it's holding the channel lows. We've talked about that. Look at that perfect double bottom, basically. Bounce, leave it alone. Let's get into some of the other oil names or natural gas. Let's check out natural gas because this is one of the ones that we talked about leading us to lower prices. Where is UNG? Did I just miss it? I apologize. Again, I don't use this computer. Trade off of, but what did we say? Watch at the 200-day. Notice what's going on. When it broke this channel, we confirmed oil weakness. Look what's happened. I still think natural gas long-term is a amazingly cheap deal, but long-term, not now. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get volatile. It's going to get wild. Just wait for the market to blow out. PXD, some extra names are for fun. Held the 200-day, not surprised. EQT, talked about it getting down here. I think, what was it? The channel, like or this range, not surprised, holding here in the low 30s, 33 area. FANG, here's another one we talked about, should bounce and look at the range, held here. Chevron, this one, Valero, oh god, this was funny when it was up in the 80s, like 27 times earnings for margins of 1%. Not surprised it's holding here in the 140s. That's Chevron, gosh darn it. Valero is trading at 27 times earnings with paper thin margins, and here we go. Now it's holding here. I think it just gets choppy and sloppy. It's not the easiest trade. That's all I have to say. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room, ask questions. Ultimately in trading, there is always an answer. The answer might not be something you like, and I always tell people this. Sometimes the hardest thing in trading is always the right thing, because again, it's selling as the market rises, knowing the risk of pullback increases. Buying at the lows, as you can see the capitulation blow off. You know, it feels really difficult. And then sometimes doing nothing. That's the hard thing. I mean, and again, these are the hard things that pay. It's doing the easy things, following the masses, and just being what I consider a lemming, just following the news, following everybody else. Because again, if you don't know this, the market is meant to take your money, not give it. So if you are playing a game like a casino, which trading is, and you overtrade, you overplay, you sit at the blackjack table too long, you're going to lose. Just is what it is. All right. Have a great day, great weekend. Happy holidays. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.